I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch network. Can we just talk for another moment about how weird these MAGA Republicans are? I know we talk about it a lot, but here's an example that just is even more mind-blowing. So the MAGA Republicans had Kimberly Guilfoyle, the girlfriend of Don Trump Jr., deliver her own rebuttal to President Biden's incredible State of the Union. Yes, the girlfriend of Donald Trump's son, Don Jr., delivered a rebuttal to the State of the Union. And this was only the second most embarrassing thing we've learned about her in the past 60 days, which I'll get to in a moment. But let's just watch some of this complete nonsense. It's frankly humiliating to watch, but you're going to want to see this. So this is Kimberly Guilfoyle's rebuttal to President Biden's State of the Union. And here she talks about scare tactics. Democrats just want to control your life. Here, let's play this clip.
This is an agenda centered around not just big government control, but micromanaging every aspect of your life, all in an effort to make you as dependent as possible on Democrats.
Now, here's another clip of Kimberly Guilfoyle from her State of the Union rebuttal. I can't believe that I'm even saying that. And she goes, "What is Biden trying to accomplish? What's he trying to accomplish?" Play the clip.
So for a moment, just take a step back and seriously ask, what is this really all about? What is Joe Biden really trying to accomplish?
All right, well, since you asked, Kimberly Guilfoyle, let me just give you a few examples, because President Biden's State of the Union was almost universally viewed as one of the greatest speeches in American history and probably the greatest State of the Union speech in modern history. Let me just show you an example. So this is a clip of President Biden talking about helping veterans and victims of toxic burn pits. You'll notice in the crowd that not a lot of Republicans are clapping for the fact that Biden and Democrats helped give veterans exposed to toxic burn pits to health care that they deserve. Apparently, that's something that the MAGA Republicans view as, I guess too crazy to do. Here, play the clip.
Bridges connecting our nation and our people. We came together to pass the most significant law ever, helping victims exposed to toxic burn pits. And in fact, it's important.
Well, since you asked Kimberly Guilfoyle, I'll just give you another example from Biden's State of the Union. Just to give you one or two more examples. So this is Kevin McCarthy refusing to applaud for wealthy and big corporations paying their fair share of taxes. Here, play this clip.
I can tell you, the plan I'm going to show you is going to cut the deficit by another $2 trillion. And it won't cut a single bit of Medicare or Social Security. In fact, we're going to extend the Medicare Trust Fund at least 2 decades, because that's going to be the next argument. How do we keep it solvent, right? Well, we'll not raise tax on anyone making under 400 grand, but we'll pay for it the way we talked about tonight, by making sure that the wealthy and big corporations pay their fair share. Look. Here's the deal.
Well, and since you asked Kimberly Guilfoyle, here is Kevin McCarthy refusing to applaud after Biden talked about historic job creation. Play this clip.
Folks, the story of America is a story of progress and resilience, of always moving forward, of never, ever giving up. It's a story unique among all nations. We're the only country that has emerged from every crisis we've ever entered stronger than we got into it. Look, folks, that's what we're doing again. 2 years ago, the economy was reeling. I stand here tonight after we've created, with the help of many people in this room, 12 million new jobs. More jobs created in 2 years than any president's created in 4 years, because of you all, because of the American people. 2 years ago,
But I guess these concepts are just too crazy for MAGA Republicans. Job creation, delivering health care to our veterans, making sure that we address our aging infrastructure here, talking about corporations paying their fair share of taxes, making sure that healthcare is accessible and affordable to all Americans, making sure that we focus on jobs. I guess that's crazy to MAGA Republicans. It's so crazy that the official rebuttal speech, Kimberly Guilfoyle's was the unofficial rebuttal speech that the MAGA Republicans gave. But the official rebuttal speech from Sarah Huckabee Sanders, now the governor of Arkansas, the MAGA governor of Arkansas, her big initiative that she wanted to announce everywhere is that in the state of Arkansas, which has like among the highest crime rates and highest homicide rates, and has some of the most problematic education system. They need a lot of things to actually be fixed that Sarah Huckabee Sanders just completely ignores. But her big initiative, making sure American flags that are used in Arkansas are made in America. Okay, like that's fine. We're all cool with that. But to tout that as your major accomplishment and your performative BS while you engage in policies that demonstrate how much you actually hate the United States of America, that is what is beyond disgusting and beyond despicable. But this is Sarah Huckabee Sanders. She says, look, without a sense of irony, she says this in her rebuttal. She goes, what this is a battle between is normal and crazy. Here, play the clip.
The dividing line in America is no longer between right or left. The choice is between normal or crazy. It's time for a new generation of Republican leadership. Upon taking office just a few weeks ago, I signed executive orders to ban CRT, racism, and indoctrination in our schools.
Okay, so it's a battle between normal and crazy. Well, let me just add this fact. As I said at the beginning of the video, the Kimberly Guilfoyle rebuttal to the State of the Union was only the second most embarrassing thing we've learned about Kimberly Guilfoyle over the past 60 days, because her deposition testimony before the January 6th committee was released. And one of the things that she talked about in her deposition was how much she loved to dance during the January 6th insurrection. And everybody was saying what a great dancer she was. We covered the release of the deposition testimony here on the MeidasTouch network, and we read some portions from Kimberly Guilfoyle's deposition, and she talked about, so she was paid like $60,000 to basically dance on a stage and speak for a very short period of time. And all she wanted to tell the January 6th committee when they were asking her questions about the insurrection was how much Trump likes the YMCA in this song. Here, in case you don't remember it, let's just go and play the clip that we did on Kimberly Guilfoyle where we broke down just a portion of what she said in the deposition. Here, play this clip. If we turn to page 271 and 272, she talks about the speech that she gave at the Ellipse on January 6th. And what she says at line 17, she goes, yeah, there's some time that passes because that's how it always does. The president likes there always to be music. He has a soundtrack that he plays of his pre-approved song that he plays at every rally every once in a while to make changes to it, etc. And he likes to do that, build momentum. And then he gets up and does his thing. And that's just how it is. So then the question is, I'm just trying to figure out the timeline. At this point, when you finish your speech, you're hanging out in the tent, right? Answer, freezing and dying, hoping he comes. Question, I think this is when I believe the video happens that Don Jr. is filming. Is that right? Answer, yes, because they're playing the music, right, which is the president's approved soundtrack of songs, and one of them that plays at all his rallies besides YMCA is Gloria. I don't know what the name of the song is. And they go on, I think it's YMCA by the Village People. And then she goes, have you watched any Trump rallies? And then the person goes, no, it's actually a song I believe called Gloria. I believe the name of the song is called Gloria. Oh, yes, that is the song. The 80s pop song thing, yes, but also plays YMCA. And then she goes on to say, it's very distinct soundtrack that I believe he has a heavy hand in. So Miss Guilfoyle, exactly, based on what we understood, is this correct? And so this is Kimberly Guilfoyle's response to the January 6th committee lawyer asking her these questions. She goes, so they played that, and I am a child of the 80s, and so I like that. And Don's like, princess. I think he said, princess, show us your dance moves. And I'm a good dancer. This is what Kimberly Guilfoyle is doing on January 6th, leading up to the insurrection. And she's talking to the January 6th committee about what a good dancer she is. Okay, and I'm sorry, I just can't help myself, folks. I have to share this with you again in case you forgot. I'm not sure if you remember this, but do you remember back in 2018 at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, the 2018 one? Remember, Trump would never show up because he hates the press and he can't take a joke and he can't be made fun of, so he wouldn't show up to any of these. But do you remember comedian Michelle Wolf? Do you remember her routine about Sarah Huckabee Sanders? I have to show it to you because as I play that Sarah Sanders clip for you, it immediately popped into my head and I went back and I watched it. So I have to share this with you. It's so spot on. Play the clip.
And of course we have Sarah Huckabee Sanders. We are graced with Sarah's presence tonight. I have to say I'm a little starstruck. I love you as Aunt Lydia on The Handmaid's Tale. Mike Pence, if you haven't seen it, you would love it. Every time Sarah steps up to the podium, I get excited because I'm not really sure what we're gonna get. A press briefing, a bunch of lies, or divided into softball teams. It's shirts and skins, and this time don't be such a little bitch, Jim Acosta. I actually really like Sarah. I think she's very resourceful. Like, she burns facts, and then she uses that ash to create a perfect smoky eye. Like, maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's lies. It's probably lies. And I'm never really sure what to call Sarah Huckabee Sanders. Is it Sarah Sanders? Is it Sarah Huckabee Sanders? Is it Cousin Huckabee? Is it Auntie Huckabee Sanders? Like, what's Uncle Tom but for white women who disappoint other white women? Oh, I know, Aunt Coulter.
Okay, look, folks, the fact that Kimberly Guilfoyle is giving a rebuttal in that form and fashion that you just saw to the President of the United States, Joe Biden's State of the Union address. The fact that you have a MAGA Republican political party, you have the Republican Party as a cult that talks about the green M&Ms and the purple M&Ms and Mr. Potato Head and Democrats are coming for your chocolate milk and talking about Dr. Seuss and woke, and it's some of the weirdest and fascist, but crazy, weird, bizarro stuff. And we really need to call it out as such. The exhausted majority of pro-democracy, pro-normal people, we can't be exhausted anymore. And I know that these MAGA right-wing extremists want to keep you very exhausted. That's part of their plan. We just can't be. We can't be. Because we got to call these traitors traitors. We got to call these fascists fascists. Because if you support insurrections, if you support spreading conspiracy theories about pandemics and tell people not to take it seriously, if you talk about Jewish space lasers, if you're stalking survivors of school shootings, if you are supporting people who defame the victims and their families of school shootings, if you can't even clap for job creation, if you can't clap for having corporations pay their fair share of taxes, if you can't clap for giving veterans health care, we have to call you what you are. You're a traitor. You hate America. And frankly, that's the state of the MAGA Republican Party today. That's the only conclusion you can draw from the logic that is before us. It's that simple. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. If you haven't seen it yet, check out Killing County on Hulu. I executive produced it with Colin Kaepernick. I think you will really enjoy the series. It focuses on the crime, corruption, and cover-up that's taking place in Bakersfield, which just so happens to be Kevin McCarthy's district. Highest crime rate, highest homicide rate, highest police shooting deaths in the United States of America. Make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel, please. It's free to subscribe. And if you can, no pressure if you can't, but check us out at patreon.com/MeidasTouch. Become a member at patreon.com/MeidasTouch. We have a lot of exclusive content that you could only get on Patreon, but it helps grow this independent media platform since we have no outside investors. Thank you all very much. I'm Ben Meiselas. We appreciate you. Hit subscribe.
Our blue wall stopped the red wave and election deniers got denied election. That's why we're celebrating with the new Democracy Prevails team. We've got lots of work to do, but we should all be proud that when democracy was tested, democracy prevailed. You've earned this. Don't wait. Get yours right now at store.meidastouch.com. That's store.meidastouch.com.